do it with pictures. I've personally find that just getting a little blank notebook and writing down everything you eat is more effective. And wow, somebody just said in the chat that she's been using my tips and recipes for a few months and has lost 70 pounds. And while I still don't look the way I want, you are so right. The change in how I feel is dramatic. That's awesome, Kimberly. Congratulations. It makes me really happy for you. That's awesome. What I was saying is that a food journal is going to be it's awesome for a lot of reasons. And the main one is one, can help you if you're bad at doing the mindful eating thing, because that's hard to learn. It really takes a lot of practice. Keeping a food journal can really be helpful at making you aware of every single thing that you're putting in your mouth. So most people will lose weight by just starting a food journal because they are more conscious. They're just they're not eating randomly out of a pretzel bowl or whatever. So that's good. But another thing that a food journal will do is it will allow you to go, once you have a couple weeks down, you can go through and start identifying patterns. Like, let's say you actually like salads. Not everyone does, but let's say you do. If you really like salads and you're looking to lose weight, that might be a place where you can emphasize that more. Eat more salads, make bigger salads, make salad instead of a side dish, make it your full meal, and just make that salad a little more substantial. Let's say you're the type of person who likes to cook. Usually you cook maybe less healthy things or whatever, but if you like to cook, build on that. Start learning to eat healthy food, learning to cook healthy food, finding healthy recipes, exploring your farmer's market. So that could be a bright spot for you, and just sort of use that as your foundation to build those healthy habits that you need for success down the road. Another example is some people I know, they really don't care what they eat. They just wish healthy food would appear because they'll just eat whatever is in front of them. So that's actually an advantage too. If they're like, I'm not such a big foodie, I'm not such a big chef, I just sort of want food to be easy. If you don't care what you eat, your only goal then is just that you go shopping and make sure that the food in your house is healthy. It's not that hard. You have to just make that dedication to go shopping once a week. So these are the things I mean. Write down your food. Start paying attention to how you eat, what your habits are, and try to figure out ways for your own personal strengths to be expanded into this sort of healthy lifestyle. It doesn't matter what it is. And if you have trouble identifying these, you guys are all subscribers and you have my email address. Like, I'm here to help you with this stuff. So if you can't think of it, feel free to drop me a line or call in and we'll troubleshoot for you, because everyone can do this. I'm absolutely convinced. We'll all have different paths, but everyone can figure out how to build healthy lifestyles. And it's not that hard. Or it can be that hard. It can be hard, but it's not impossible. And it's just a matter of sort of paying attention and figuring out what works for you. So another recommendation I make when you're first started making changes is, and I sort of say this reluctantly, but I'm gonna say it because I do think it's important, is to start an exercise program. And what I mean by that is, I don't mean that you need to go to the gym or join an intramural soccer team, although either of those things are awesome. Just start thinking, like, active people are healthy, active people are slim. Make sure that you have a way to build activity into your day. It's very hard. I mean, most of us work at desks 8 to 10 hours a day, and it's really hard to get the amount of activity we need on a regular basis. And so just starting to think of a way to be an active person is really important. And I recommend that for everyone. And it doesn't, like I said, it doesn't have to be the gym. If it's an evening walk after dinner, even during your lunch break at work, just walking to where you're going to eat, stuff like that. And I'll talk later about tips how to be more active, but just start to think about pedometer top. Just start to think about that's, like, you want to be a slim, healthy person. You need to figure out a way to integrate some sort of physical activity into your regular routine, not just an occasional thing every other weekend. Regularly, 3 to 5 days a week. So here's a few tips and getting started making changes. So one, I always recommend this to everyone. Find in your neighborhood the place that has the best produce. And, I love farmers markets. I recommend everybody find their farmers market. If you don't know of any farmers markets near you, go to the website localharvest.org. And it's a farmers market, like, search engine. It's helped a lot of people that, my Twitter followers and stuff, find great farmers markets. So start there. if you can't make it to your farmer's market, or you really don't have any farmer's markets in your area, I always recommend. I love the like little ethnic grocery stores. So actually, my dad recently he'd always just sort of shopped at Vons or Safeway or whatever, but because of my influence, he explored one day around his neighborhood, and he found like a little Chinese grocery store in his neighborhood where it's just produce and stuff like that, but they have just beautiful produce. It's not all organic necessarily. Actually, probably very little of it is, but it's all seasonal. It's all fresh. It's all beautiful, and it's very affordable, and it's light years better than he was getting at his grocery store. So, look around, explore your town, figure out a place to buy food that you're actually excited about eating, and I think that's a really big step for a lot of people. And sometimes you don't even realize it's just right around the corner. Like this place was just a couple blocks from my dad's house, and he was so excited to call me and tell me. And the other day he was like, "I bought kale. What do I do with it?" Because he'd heard about it from me, but he'd never seen it before, even though it is at his normal grocery store. He didn't notice it until it was on the display at this beautiful new market that he found. So that is a big one. Go find a place where you can find the best produce in your town. Another thing you can do if you just you don't really know where to start with getting healthy, try just making a general rule for yourself to try to eat something green with both lunch and dinner. So start getting used to seeing vegetables on your plate. So if you're normally going to go out and get a sandwich and some chips, try getting the side salad instead. Something like that. Or if you only just get the sandwich and don't get a salad, maybe get the salad, maybe eat a little less of the sandwich, something like that. Try to work some sort of vegetable into your dinner. And just that twice a day green is a good start. It's a good sort of, cue that you can use to, remember like this one healthy thing you can do for yourself every single day, and you just sort of build that habit. And obviously, cauliflower counts, but green is a nice color. It's nice. A lot of really healthy vegetables are green, so that's a great way to just sort of think about it. Another like home run tip for everyone to start getting healthy: eat breakfast. Eat breakfast. I mean, I say this all the time. It is so easy to nail breakfast. Almost everyone eats breakfast at home. You can prepare a healthy breakfast in 30 seconds to 2 minutes. I like to eat muesli. If you go back and watch my health style episode number 2, I talk about what I eat for breakfast all the time, and I like eggs. I mean, it doesn't matter. It's just you can control 1 out of your 3 meals in the day. Slam dunk, healthy food. So that's a great place to start. Replace your snacks with fruit. Everybody likes fruit, especially this time of year. The fruit's going to be fantastic from now until fall or even winter. So that's a great place to get more fresh food. And if you're buying fruit, you're right near the vegetable stand too, so you can get some vegetables there. I already mentioned start with the food journal. I think that's a great way to get started on mindful eating. And learn to chew. Practice chewing. There's this amazing phenomenon in Western culture. My friends and my family, they wolf food like you would not believe. It makes me so nervous to eat with them now that I've learned to slow down. I mean, it's like a race to just shovel as much in there as possible, and just no one wins. No one wins when you do that. So just slow down, chew. It's a great, great, great habit. Most people lose weight just by chewing more. I kid you not. So those are some tips for getting started. And experiment. Do, like I said, find your own bright spots, find what works for you, and just start building the foundation of healthy habits. And for some people, these small changes will result in some noticeable weight loss. But even, and this is really important, it's in italics on my sheet, even if you don't experience any weight loss from building up these healthy habits, they're absolutely necessary to build the foundation for success. So you need to do this even if you don't start losing weight right away. So I don't know let's see. There's an article, I don't know if you guys saw it, some of you may have. There's an article, there was a success story on Summer Tomato a couple months ago. A man who lost 60 pounds, I'll link to it in the show notes when I put this out next week. A man who lost 60 pounds doing basic health style changes. But what I found what was really interesting about his story, so basically he was like, I lost 60 pounds in a year. But if you read his story carefully, what you see is that he actually had been on the journey for 2 years. And the entire first year, he just spent learning to eat more vegetables. He subscribed to a delivery service where they delivered vegetables to his house. And he started building up these healthy habits. And then it was a year later, he was like, I'd really like to lose some weight. And that's when he started cutting out the bad food. And when that happened, he already had the foundation there. And he just started losing weight like crazy. So he lost 60 pounds in just 9 months or something like that. But if you look at it, how he started, it actually took closer to 2 years. But that's great. It doesn't really matter because he's always going to have these habits now. And when you think about it, I mean, that sounds like a ton of weight, right? Like you lost 60 pounds. That sounds like so much. But over the course of 2 years, when you think about it, that's really only 3 pounds a month. So that's less than a pound a week. And so that, it can feel slow sometimes, but the rewards are huge. And you just have to have faith that building the healthy habits is the right path. And like Kimberly said, as long as you can feel the changes, you're going in the right direction. So keep that in mind. I know it's hard when you just feel trapped in a heavy body and you want to be lighter and you want to be slimmer and it's so tempting to try and cheat and do some sort of master cleanse or some crazy diet, but really that's not the answer. The answer is the healthy habits and the slow weight loss because it lasts forever. Awesome. So once you have the steady routine and you're eating healthy foods regularly, that is when you can start experimenting with cutting stuff out and actually inducing your own weight loss. But like I said, don't skip to this part if you don't have healthy habits first. So it's not going to do anybody any good, especially not you. So a couple things to keep in mind. One is that everyone is different. And different things are going to work for different people, and different things are going to work for people with different lifestyles. So there's, we have different metabolisms, but we also have different responsibilities. And what works for you or what works for someone else isn't going to be the same. And one thing that I also think that weight loss is different for people with different amounts of weight to lose. So if you have a lot of weight to lose, let's say you still need to lose more than 20 pounds, if you need to put down 40 or 50 pounds, something like that, or even more. For that sort of situation, I find that people do better on low carb diets. Just FYI, and I'm not promoting going on a low carb diet, but if you look at the way I eat, though I don't like the word low carb, I really don't eat a lot of carbohydrates because, as you probably know, I'm pretty down on sugar. I hardly ever eat sugar. I really don't eat a lot of refined grains at all. And I do eat carbs. I eat intact grains. I eat potatoes. I eat fruit. And I do have occasional sugars and breads and stuff, just not very often. But when it comes down to it, it is pretty low carb. But the reason why I'm pointing this out specifically if you have a lot of weight to lose is because people that are very overweight tend to be insulin resistant. And you can be insulin resistant and not be very overweight too. But from the data I've read, once you're insulin resistant, the best way to get over that hump is to just sort of start out with a low carb approach, because that will help restore the insulin resistance and get your metabolism back working again. And at that point, then you can maybe experiment with putting in a little bit more carbs here and there. But generally, I think if you have a lot of weight to lose, you might have more success with a more low carb approach. And that just means being slightly more strict with yourself on specific kind of foods, specifically sugar and processed grains. And maybe even intact grains, like if you're very insulin resistant. So, and another thing is, like I said before, don't try to lose weight too fast. It doesn't help you. You want to lose fat, and you want to lose it properly. So don't look for quick fixes. Try to avoid those temptations and go the slow way and focus more, and this is sort of goes along with the low